everybody, let's get started. Immediately we have to approve, we have a lot of board meeting minutes to approve. I hope everybody had an opportunity to look at those. Can we have some motions or corrections to the minutes, if there are any?
Do we have to approve each one individually, or do we approve all three of them?
It's totally up to you. You can approve as a group unless there are corrections, and then I'd say let's approve one by one.
I move to approve all 3 minutes that were.
Okay. Yes. Okay. That was easy. All right. Public comment? Anybody?
Sure.
Come on.
Hello, good evening. First of all, thank you for reconvening to deliberate this. My name is Stephen Bick. I'm the Executive Director of the Infant Welfare Society of Evanston. We're located at 2200 West Main Street, and our phone number is 847-491-9650. As we shared before, we wanted to first state that there certainly was an incident of negligence in being late with the application. It was a one-time act. I don't think in Infant Welfare Society's history we've ever been late for this application. In my 5 years, we have not been late for this application. I specifically worked very closely on the application, and of course, when found out it wasn't submitted, we immediately contacted the city and tried to do what we could and got it in, I believe, 48 hours after whatever the deadline was that was given to us. But I want to just say a few words about Teen Baby Nursery, and then I'll let Tiffany Culpepper, who's the director, speak about Teen Baby, and one of our board members, Nicole Van Land, will speak. But I just wanted to say, first of all, the money that we've gotten from the Mental Health Board over many, many years has been critical for Teen Baby Nursery. It represents about 14% of our operating budget, the amount that we had requested. It's a substantial amount of our budget that would really have devastating effects if it were lost. And I just wanted to point out, and I'll let Tiffany go after me, just the critical nature of the work we do. I think you all know we serve ages 14 to 23, the parents of infants and toddlers ages 6 weeks to 3 years old. We have a lot of very, very high needs families. Some of, I would say, probably the highest need families in Evanston. Some of them are actual teenagers in ETHS. Some of them are 19, 20, 21-year-olds dealing with many, many challenges. And so the services that we provide and the money that the city gives through the Mental Health Board is fundamental to our work in terms of working with issues of postpartum depression, working with issues of violence in the home and challenges that these parents are having in their relationships. Certainly focusing on the infants and toddlers and their development is so critical. But I think Tiffany will be the best person to really speak about the program. So I just want to say thank you for taking up another night to deliberate this acceptance into the application process. And I'm going to pass the mic to Tiffany Culpepper.
Hi, once again, my name is Tiffany Culpepper, and I am the site director for Teen Baby Nursery. I just want to reiterate the importance of the work that we do and how the funding that we have received from the Mental Health Board has really helped us to keep our program going and really help our parents and the children in our program succeed. Many of the parents, as Steve mentioned, are our teen parents at the high school or young adults. And they do come to us with a variety of different issues that we help them with. But the biggest piece that we have been working on with the families and the children is their social emotional needs. And it's something that through the funding that we receive, we can provide that support to really help them to thrive and really be the advocate that we want them to be for their families. So we really would appreciate and we thank you for reconsidering our error, and we hope that a change can come about with that.
Hi, good evening. My name is Nicole Van Land. I live in the second ward. I work in Evanston. I have 2 young small children. I'm here tonight in my role as an Infant Welfare Society board member. I serve on the Finance Committee and the Executive Committee, and I also want to thank you for reconsidering our application for 2020. When we submitted after the October 21st deadline, our leadership team and president took immediate action in order to figure out what were next steps. As a member of the Executive Committee, I can tell you that the board leadership also came together very quickly to assess the situation and figure out what we wanted to do next. 3 things really rose to the top. The realization, which we already knew, that the mental health board funds are critical to our operations, that we needed to consider a realignment of responsibilities within ourselves internally and how we want to handle ourselves in the future so we don't have an oversight like this again. And then also how we were going to appeal to your generosity and understanding for this situation. So we put these action items immediately into action, and I feel like it's important to recap this series of events because we want to stress that we respect the protocols and the procedures that you have put in place here for the mental health board. We want to stress that this was a one-time lapse. So my request this evening is just to please reconsider our $65,000 application for the 2020 year. For Teen Baby Nursery, as Steve already said, these represent 14% of the operating budget. For Infant Welfare Society as a whole, fundraising already is 27% of our budget, so adding another $65,000 would be devastating to operations in general, would be very challenging. So for those of you with young children, it's no secret that the cost of childcare is continuing to rise with the cost of important regulations and accreditation requirements that we want to accommodate in order to make sure that our children are safe. But these costs are continuing to outpace the available revenue that we have and the cash inflows that are coming from grantors and from private charity. So your consideration of our grant would be very important to our financial future. So thank you for your partnership over the last 15 years. Thank you for coming together tonight to reconsider it. I look forward to continuing our relationship.
Hi, good evening. And my name is Beth Wiggins, and I am on the board of Infant Welfare. And I'm coming here as not only a board member, but an Evanston resident and a fellow parent. And I wanted to emphasize a couple things. I wanted to first of all thank you all for reconsidering us, for considering adding us back into the pool of applicants. So thank you for even just having us here today. And I wanted to emphasize that we understand that we definitely made a mistake as Infant Welfare as a group. And as Nicole just mentioned, I'm on the executive group also. And we definitely pulled together once we realized this issue was at hand. And we had everybody on the phone right away as soon as we could. We were addressing the issues. We brought to light what the issues were, and we were able to address them quickly and then come up with an action plan to hopefully remediate our mistake and take those steps that are necessary to make sure that it doesn't happen again. We fully do understand that it was a mistake. We missed a deadline, and so we don't want to shy away from that, but we do want to let you know that we did take steps. Immediately, everybody was on the same page, and we really do hope that you will reconsider us for the reasons that our organizations rely so heavily on the funding that the Mental Health Board has provided in the past. And it's, I think you all fully understand our mission of serving and nurturing families and the littlest citizens of Evanston. You all fully understand that you all have funded us in the past, and we have relied on that funding heavily. And we hope that we can show you that we can continue to be good stewards of your funds and put those to very good use. And one of the things that I think that Infant Welfare does so well with the funds, it funds baby toddler, it funds teen baby, it funds our family support programs that go throughout the city of Evanston and beyond. But one of the main things that I think that Infant Welfare does so well is that they prepare our the children for kindergarten. They are taking the families and the children and they are filling Evanston's and beyond Morton Grove and Skokie. They're filling those kindergartens with kids that are so ready to learn. They are prepared, they are ready for an amazing future. And the funding that you all provide funds those programs. Each of those nurseries and each of the family support services, those mental health funds, and they go directly to support those funds. Nicole spoke to the funding, Steve did too. And so I just I want to emphasize your funds are put to excellent use. They fill our kindergartners with amazing, ready sponges of learners. They're ready to go throughout our public school system or private. But anyway, I just want to let you know we will be good stewards as we have in the past, and we look forward to continuing our relationship with you all. And thank you for everything that you've done. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Kristen Kennedy. I'm the Deputy Director and Director of Social Work Services at the Moran Center. And I'm here tonight to express our support for Infant Welfare Society, specifically Teen Baby Nursery, to be allowed consideration in the funding process. Infant Welfare Society is one of the Moran Center's most valued partners in Evanston. Services provided by them are crucial and unparalleled. The families and young people served by Teen Baby are some of the most vulnerable and marginalized in Evanston. To lose funding for this program, ultimately leading to not being able to maintain the services that they have and continue to grow, would be detrimental to so many who need it the most. I cannot tell you how many of the Moran Center clients have received services through Infant Welfare Society. If they hadn't been able to receive those services, our clients in particular, who are the teens, would not have been able to go to school, get jobs, healthily be able to raise their families, provide stability for their young children. And their children would not be provided with a safe, trauma-informed space where their social emotional learning is fostered and advanced. If they were to lose this funding, the program would not be able to move forward as it currently is, and to deprive these clients of these services would be causing the community to suffer in a huge way. The Moran Center encourages you to allow Infant Welfare Society to be considered in this year's funding process. The entire community will be better off for it.
Good evening, my name is Betty Combs. I am the Executive Director for Reba Early Learning Center. We are a nonprofit full-day education and care program for children 2 to 5 years of age. 60% of the children that we serve receive child care assistance from the state of Illinois. Evanston Cradle to Career and the Child Care Network of Evanston are two of our partner organizations. Our organization also collaborates with other early childhood education programs in this community. Infant Welfare Society and Learning Bridge are two of those programs. We depend on each other to help us ensure that the most marginalized children receive equitable educational opportunities that will prepare them for kindergarten. Some of this may sound redundant, but I think that speaks to the significance of this opportunity for both programs. We do our best to provide high-quality education, care, and resources for families. Some of the resources we work together to provide are services for trauma, parent education, and staff professional development. Funds are limited, so this can be a struggle for programs to do on their own. Children from infant welfare often transition to Reba for care as they age out of their program. I've had conversations with Steve and Vic regarding the positive impact mental health board funds would have not just for infant welfare, but other early childhood programs as well. We talked about the ability to have a space large enough for staff professional development, family education meetings, and a support group for fathers. These opportunities would be valuable for the entire early childhood community. What negatively impacts one of our programs harms us all. I urge you to please reconsider the applications submitted from Infant Welfare Society of Evanston and Learning Bridge Early Education Center. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Lindsey Percival. I'm the Executive Director of Learning Bridge Early Education Center. I want to say exactly the same as everybody else, but I'm going to keep this very brief. Thank you very much for meeting with us tonight. We have had a long and wonderful relationship with the Mental Health Board. We've met all the application and report deadlines throughout the years until this one. I'm English, I'm comfortable with rules and was ready to accept the Mental Health Board ruling. But afterwards I heard from several organisations that the deadline has been extended for applications many times. The Centre for Independent Futures application was accepted late 4 years ago. If the board wants to enforce the deadline, the time to make that clear is in the next round's orientation meetings, and Learning Bridge will be happy to comply. We listened to the board's concerns last year, we changed our need, and we completely rewrote our application. We no longer are asking for scholarship funding, but for mental health therapy for our children and our families. I would not be here fighting for this application if it was not for such a desperate need that would help in the lives of our children and our families. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Gerald Tusky and I'm Executive Director of the Child Care Network of Evanston, located at 1335 Dodge Avenue. This is the second time that I have stood before you on behalf of our partner Infant Welfare Society, and I would like to add Learning Bridge to that list tonight. The quality of early education in Evanston is crucial to the future of our children, and both of these programs work very, very hard to provide that quality, and we depend on them as others in our community to value early education and to really support families as they struggle and celebrate their successes as they raise their children. So very briefly, I would just ask you to please reconsider both applications. Our city will be better for it. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Melody Rose. I'm the Director of Clinical and Outreach Services with Youth and Opportunity United, YOU. And I want to thank you for the opportunity to speak in support of the Infant Welfare Society and their important connection to our youth and families at YOU. As you're likely familiar, Evanston has a unique web of services available to provide truly holistic services to our families. When services or programs close, the devastating impact is felt throughout the network of providers, as well as our families and our schools. As such, we have an important role to play in covering family needs, and the Teen Baby Nursery is a crucial service to our vulnerable young parents, and is oftentimes the primary support our young parents have in order to successfully complete their education. Without the Teen Baby Nursery, young parents are at greater risk for dropping out of school and experiencing housing instability. As a provider within the interconnected web of services in Evanston, and on behalf of the young parents we work with at YOU, we appreciate your consideration of continued support of the Infant Welfare Society of Evanston's Teen Baby Nursery. Thank you.
Any other comments? All right, I think it's time for us to do to have a vote on a reconsideration of the application for both Infant Welfare Society and Learning Bridge. All in favor?
Do we want to
What
talk about
discussions? Well, we talked a little bit, but well,
I don't know if anyone wants to say anything.
yeah, good point. Any thoughts or comments from folks on the board?
I think for me, who originally voted no, I think I felt like I didn't have enough information at the time to what I was kind of what I was concerned about at the time was just more of an explanation and try to understand what happened, because obviously there are different circumstances that can lead to that, to missing a deadline. And also I was kind of following Jess's lead because I know she had said that there's so much work that was added, I guess, because of that. But I think that the representatives did an excellent job of explaining and advocating for their work, which is vital to the city. And so I feel like that was really helpful that we got more information, for me at least.
I would just like to say it would be wonderful to have full board, and so we're kind of we're in a full board because we're back to only 5 people, whereas that's what happened at the last meeting as well. The vote was taken, and it would be wise to have everybody who was at that last meeting to be present, but life and circumstances didn't avail that. So, any other comments on the board?
Well, personally, I feel in support of reconsidering the application deadline because, you know, all the whole year we've been discussing our priorities internally as a board, and then also what the city lists as our priorities. And both of these organizations are caring for young people, they're caring for people of color, they're caring for people that are, you know, struggling financially. And to me, that's why I'm curious to make sure that those are the folks that we're caring for. And so I feel in support of it. That's my comment.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
We have to
Now-
vote. Yes, motion.
Okay.
Second,
I make a motion to
vote,
reconsider.
And then we're, yep. Okay.
All in favor? Aye.
Going to second.
Yes.
Second,
Yeah.
All right, aye.
Awesome, thank you guys.
Everybody, next year, be on top of it. That is the lesson learned from all of this. Okay, onward.
All right, fabulous. So I'm sorry, I have on the agenda that there's a chair report, and certainly if there is a chair report, but the 2020 meeting dates sort of fall under my staff report. In keeping with city tradition, you guys have seen these dates before, but we needed to get a vote to approve. So this is at the end of the packet, there is a schedule of meeting dates for 2020. The board reviewed this in October. And so I'm bringing this again to the board's consideration.
I just have a question. When do we vote? When are those big meetings when we discuss is that part of this or is that something different?
That's very fair. Well, yep, so next steps. So now that there is a full vote to reconsider these applications, our next meeting, probably the Thursday, January 29th, will be a hearing meeting for infant welfare and for Learning Bridge. And so that will be...
January 29th?
Pardon?
The 29th?
I'm sorry, January 9th.
Okay.
Yes. So at that time, the applications will be included in the packet. Both applications will, go through the public process. Agencies will have 5 to 10 minutes to present. And then, assuming the board doesn't have any special meetings, the allocation meeting will take place Thursday, February 13th. So we can talk about the Zoom grants, scoring, and dates around when hopefully everyone will have their scores in.
So the February meeting, we're discussing the Zoom grants still, that's not the due date for it?
No, so January would be hearing, February 13th would be the allocation meeting.
So we need to be done, though.
Right, with
We
scores.
need to be done with our Zoom grants.
Aye.
Gotcha, okay.
No, actually, please,
No.
before February 13th. or I won't
Okay,
have
yes,
anything
yes,
for you
okay.
guys to, and we can talk about that. I'm also happy to hold a sort of Zoom grants review for members. I've done this in the past. Traditionally, it's been in like August because August was kind of a lull month for us. We don't have any of those this time around. So I can either send out a doodle poll to find a time that works for everybody, or I'm happy to meet with people as schedules permit. So I'm happy to make myself available, and we can.
I'm good, so I don't know who.
Okay.
My needs. Okay. Yeah.
We can talk about that. And then traditionally, the mental health board at that final hearing meeting, so in January, will select a working group. So 2 members volunteer to review and come up with averages based on scores that are then presented at that allocation meeting.
Thinking about volunteering. Somebody.
Too bad we only have 5.
I know.
This would be a great time to nominate others.
Yeah, right. Irene, I know she was part of that process last year.
And actually, that's a very good point. It is helpful to have someone who's gone through the process before, but we don't need to, the board doesn't need to.
They're very helpful.
Okay.
But, and this is something that we can talk about in the January meeting, when the ideal date would be to have all scores in. And we certainly want to, give you guys as much time to review, but then
Yes.
get stuff together. I also need a lot of time to get stuff together, so.
Okay.
What would be the ideal date for us all to have our Zoom grants in?
Ideal for me would be Monday, January 13th.
Oh, no.
Well, that's why I said ideal for me. We can talk about it.
Anything else?
So, no, does anyone have any initial concerns about the schedule as presented? Okay, would someone be willing to make a motion to accept the 2020 schedule?
I move that we accept the 2020 schedule.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Thank you. Okay.
All right, I don't have a chair report. And I heard nothing from Jessica, so nothing. All right.
We need a motion to adjourn.
We need a motion to adjourn. A motion to adjourn.
A second?
All right.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.